Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have Shadow Assassin KAYN because he received a few buffs recently, but most notably, as Riot is removing the spam ganking meta, even though he could gank and he could be active early and that was fine, we're not a spam ganker, we're a sequencer, we're an orb snacker, and we want to bring the late game to the mid game as Korean Kayns do, which is why we have a Korean game right here. But the nerfs to not only the systemic jungle spam ganking facilities, yeah, that's great, but the nerfs directly to Elise as well as to Maokai have allowed his win rate to go duk up a little bit. However, it's obviously not perfect at the moment, but nothing's stopping you from not being diamond if you're a platinum, gold, or silver K1 trick. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. The champion is still a rule abusing, great champion for that. If you're a diamond K1 trick pony and you're like, I like playing Shadow Assassin, I don't like spam ganking, I don't like blah 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 blah. It wasn't stopping you from being mastered here, my friends. If you're a KAYN main and you weren't mastered, it wasn't because KAYN was in a weak state. Remember that. We have someone in my Discord who reached GM peaked this season already using KAYN, right? So just to put that to rest. However, as you're seeing here, I don't know why bottom lanes disrespect this. We know that he's going to be on Raptors. Like, oh, KAYN went leashless. I wonder where he began. It's obviously he started red and it's obviously he started Raptors. He's gonna go to the Krugs for good sequencing technique, float onto this baby, go to the Wolves Gromp Blue, make sure he gets a beautiful snack on the Scuttle Crab, flax, perma invade dis if release goes down. Hey, cool sequencing. But if you're gonna trade like this and disrespect it, he's gonna rotate over and get the kill. Nicely done. Obviously, we're against the Elise here, who probably wanted to go red Raptors Gromp or maybe the red Wolves Blue into the bottom lane gank. So her bottom lane disrespected this, and now she's screwed because this is where the nerf has come through. As we go to the top side here, so we make a nice reactive power thing there, we fall back to our red side, we go up here, and we're like, what are we sitting at? Let me move the mouse, excuse me there. It wasn't zoomed out enough for you to see. There's a Jax flashing in onto the Renekton and then leap striking away. He's going to take one tower shot. We'll cue the gap close. We'll hit that slow on the W. Can we get the auto attack? Can we do it? We have the Q up as well. You are not escaping, sir. There we go. We'll take more orbs as well. Renekton will TP back in. This is how Kayns get fed. They get fed through intelligent reactive pathing to information on the map using the E. You just completely rule break the scenario. Here's the Elise going down to the bottom side, forcing this gank now, saying, hey, can we do something? She is able to do something. She has a weird health bar. That was like the Nara in the coaching session. What's going on right with the health bars this game? She is so out-jungled. It's Mini Elise, everybody. Mini Elise, a tiny little minion health bar. That's how well she will play this game. She does not deserve a champion health bar at all. Outplayed by a KAYN early. That's what you look like. Okay, so obviously the thing about the thing that's changed that's really going to help the KAYN here is even if he wasn't able to get all of this juice early, and again, he will always say, hey, I like to watch these videos, but then there's always these beautiful things that these high elo junglers can collapse on and clean up. Yeah, so it happens in low elo too. Go to the coaching channel. Coaching channel is only diamond and below coaching that I just give free coaching sessions on. And there's always low HP targets that are completely missed. Might not be at 2-3 minutes. Maybe it's at 5 minutes. Maybe it's 4 minutes. Maybe it's at 6 minutes, 16 seconds. I don't know. There's always someone there that if you path correctly, you will be able to take care of. And you don't. And that's why, right? So seeing those opportunities is step one. But if he was able to do this, or at least wasn't able to get anything on her first rotation, right? What that would mean is she would now spam gank bottom lane. Most likely she's going to try and do it again. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's all we've been looking at for 3 months. And what that does is gives her that kill catch-up experience, a kill experience. But that has now been nerfed. Removed. Not removed, but technically, if you're 1 level behind, it was removed. But the rest of it has been nerfed. Which means she cannot afford, she shows top lane, fool. And that prevents her from catching up the experience that KAYN's going to get through his sequencing advantage. Draven, KAYN. Nicely done. Now, Elise, this, I can't get over this. This is brilliant. It happened to a Nara in our coaching, but it happened to a Nara in the coaching. And he was 1-7-1, so it really made sense. This is less funny, but at the same time, it's still kind of funny. She's cosplaying an actual jungler here. I don't know why this is happening, but it's really entertaining. So the Fizz and the Jax are holding this. Akali's moved to the top side. KAYN does his business on the bottom side, gets another kill, gets another assist. He's going to move up here and hold this mid wave, which is perfect. She's level 4. He's level 5. If she was to spam gank bottom lane 3 or 4 times now, you'd be like, damn, she's the same level as me. That sucks. And now they've removed that interaction. So we are grateful for it. At the same time, in the next patch, what they're doing is giving us more gold. for each of the camps that we're doing. They're also removing the 20% damage reduction to enemy camps in the counter jungling. You see where I'm going with this. This is even better for Kayn. It's even better for anyone like Kayn. Unfortunately, it's better for Graves. So I cannot reconcile my happiness with the end of the spam ganking unskilled meta, which is just as unskilled as the turbo chem tank meta from season 11. I'm sorry. If you run around and don't have to care about vision, pathing, wards, scanners, anything like this, and you just run at lanes and kill them, and someone who has to strategically play the game perfectly is the same level as you despite having 40 more CS, higher KP, more objectives, it's not skillful. And likewise, AFK farming for 25 minutes and having the level 18 when everyone else is level 12, that's not skillful either. The hybrid approach we had in Season 12, end of Season 12 was really nice. And the Kayn approach that he's doing right here is showcasing this as well. She is now down 12 CS already, which is 3 camps. He is now shadowing down here to say, hey, maybe I can gank this again. It's warded, don't care, didn't ask. We go in here, we get that nice stun from the Annie there. We're going to go straight in with that W kill. We're going to ult to dodge the aggro out. Bottom lane will take some of the aggro there. We'll auto attack, make sure we don't get 2 killed. The Fizz will show up, he can slide in and... well, I guess he used his potent pole beforehand. But that's fine. A dead Fizz is a happy everyone, basically. So, he still can't be bottom lane. Because everyone was saying, well, I want to spam gank bottom lane. Why are you removing my ability to do so? I'm not. No one is. Riot isn't. Kayn is beautiful at this. Beautiful at it. And you know what the thing is? This could have very easily been when he went to hold mid lane, a mid lane gank. Right? 3-2-1 jungle rule. 3 ganks mid, 3 ganks bot, 1 gank mid, 1 gank top lane, and all he has to do is gank it again. Boom, 6 ganks, pre-12 minutes, pre-10 minutes already. Form achieved, snowballing achieved, atomization achieved. That's all we really want to do. But also at the same time, like we want a Shadow Assassin. We want to carry this game, kill everyone very easily, and showcase that if most junglers, if you had to say go to most junglers, which is one of the easiest champions to go ahead, lock in, and just 1v9 and climb without thinking. Most people would say Shadow Assassin, honestly. They might not want to play it, but if you had to make them do it, they would say, okay, yeah, I can totally do that. Because the mobility, the damage, the safety, the snowball, I mean, the early form here, this is all the stuff that adds up to very sad squishies, very sad ADCs. And even if you're not able to truly get this dominating ganking performance bot lane, as soon as you do have Shadow Assassin, you can do it then. You don't have to do the 3 ganks pre-form, you don't have to do the 3 ganks pre-10 minutes. But as long as you get the form and then use that to spam gank this lane 100 times, perfect. At least on the other hand, it's just not in the game. Right? Literally, she's level 6, she's 47 CS, which is, you know, respectable considering the nature of the game. Akali kills Fizz, Renekton baits the Jax, and... I mean, Jax is a champion that should not be allowed to exist, but he does. Like Vladimir, I don't understand them, but he is beatable, he is killable. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, Jax can be 1-7-0, and you'll kill him, and you'll be like, wow, that was harder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I don't really like that champion at all. And you're always worried in your mind about the leap strike into death. But hey, good job, right? 2 ganks top lane. So, instead of doing the 3-2-1 rule where it's 3-2-1, we'd have done 3-2-1, which is perfect. And we will always take those advantages. And that's the thing. If you can sequence, while fusing in these ganks together, balanced jungling. Look at this. Almost 20 CS up. Elise is now still most likely... oh, she hits level 7 actually. So the experience... the lane experience... here we go. The lane experience that we're going to see in the next patch, the nerfs there as well, that's going to be absolutely humongous because people can sit in lanes, right? And absorb at a reduced rate laner experience, 75%. But it's still too much because they can spam gank, get the catch-up experience, get the kill experience, get the lane experience. It's like, well, why do I farm and have to do all this difficult stuff when I can just do that? Now it's going away. And Kayn is like, thank goodness, man. Even though Kayn did like to hold waves, push waves, steal waves, tax waves, eat waves, shit on waves, do other things to waves, this is still his wheelhouse. Let me sequence. You need some help. Let me come over there with my E. Okay, kills, cool. Should I take this wave maybe? Now, some of you might try and do this. I think here with E, we should probably do... I mean, what's the disrespect? This is very representative of... we have ult 2. It's like, you don't want... I didn't want to have to use it, but I will. Draven's like, no. My kill. Akali shows up here. We do have mobility up again. If we can dodge the E, that's the question. There we go. Good. Perfect. You know, this is the kind of playstyle I prefer. I've chosen a lane to spam gank. I've made sure I'm there to rotate when things happen. I've cleaned it up. I've farmed in sequence in between. I've ganked the other 2 lanes twice, 3 times. And, you know, I'm sure I lose a Herald and Elise is going to go ahead and get some plates here, you know, in her miniature form. But she's down 20 CS. She's down almost 2 levels at this particular stage. And next patch, when that laner experience is nerfed from 75% flat to 40 to 75% scaling over minutes in the game, beautiful. You cannot play like this Elise, even though she's not doing terribly, you know what I mean? It's not the extreme that we saw like through Silas, but a jungler like the KAYN right now should always have a significant lead that is not easily overcome because he's played hard to earn it. We forced the flash in from the W, obviously you don't want to get stuck in that slow, and Blade's reach being usable with a Q when you Shadow Assassin means like it's pretty much guaranteed death. And he shows up, she flashes. We'll just do the WQ into order if necessary. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. We have the Prowler's Claw here as well. I almost did, there were 2 games I could have done instead. So I kind of need a massage. We've moved, as you can see, I kind of need a massage, right? Let's frick the next a bit. I almost did an Eclipse game or a game where we went Prowlers but no Mana Moon. Both were interesting. The Prowler's Claw one was an Electrocute based game, so more early game snowballing, very Korean. It was a Korean game, obviously. And then the Eclipse game, I don't like it, honestly. Like, I think it's viable, you can do it. Definitely better on Rust, fine on KAYN to a degree, but the Prowler's Claw is just so good because everyone's so damn mobile, and even though you can gap close and you are super mobile, make yourself even more. Is there a downside to being more of the thing that's one of the most valuable things in the game? Gap closes. No. In addition, you also get damage amp, although that's not really huge. I mean, what added damage from amp, 197. I mean, was that going to result in a changed outcome? Probably not, but you will always take it in closer games, you know what I mean? Like, you will always take it, but the bonus lethality on everything and the movement speed means you're getting, literally, more mobility on a champion that has almost no parallel in terms of mobility, so it's just a better item. I recommend it as standard default. They didn't want to put Eclipse in the thumbnail and have everyone whining in the comments within its first 2 minutes. Look at this bad KAYN building Eclipse. Like, I don't want to see that at all. And obviously, if he doesn't go Mana Moon, how does he never run out of mana? And he will run out of mana. That's the downside to not building it. But for Snowball Electrocute components ending by 20 minutes, it's less of an issue. Here, obviously, we're going to get the damage, we're going to have the mana, we're going to have everything we need. And again, like, we're just scanning, chilling, waiting. Now, obviously, I say this a lot in coaching. All the time. Don't sit in a bush and waste your scanner timer. However, in this particular case, you are KAYN. In theory, most junglers who need to gap close like this for the Akali will have to scan this if they want the good angle of approach, because otherwise if they go and it's warded, she will see and she'll back off and you'll struggle to get that. So you kind of want to make sure that you're not seen before you approach because it's Akali. But with KAYN, you just want to make sure this isn't, because we can E, and obviously with our Prowler's Claw Smite, WQ, right, no one's really catching a break from us. They're not going to be able to escape. So we'll sit in this bush here. Akali will shove up just a little bit. Chuck a Shoryuken. The tiniest fish of attack will happen. She will then go Shroud. That was a funny little bunny. And we will just wait for her to leave her Shroud before we press the R button, obviously, because we have to. And then we will trail with her into the distance as we eradicate her soul from her corpse and say, this champion sucks. I hate it. Although that's her first death. So it's important that we actually did that and got the shutdown. Karma and Israel have now moved to the mid lane, realizing that they were unholy camped and are probably annoyed at Elise for not doing anything about it. And you know what? Fair play. But at the same time, you probably shouldn't have traded 1v1 level 1 to a KAYN you know was starting on the Raptors. Use the Kopf, my friend. Use it, use it, use it. Now they're shoving here. KAYN will say, look, I may do Wolves and I can do the Gromp, but there's a Wild Jackson on loose no man. He's going to flash the wall. I'll just follow that through with a nice little W Prowler's Claw Q, and then we can just do some cheeky autos and just a couple more auto attacks. There we go. Very nice. Karma's moving up saying, I will help you, lamp post guy, except he's already dead and no one can hear her. And we'll now use that to kill conversion ratio. This is the way you play jungle in a balanced, reactive, and intelligent way that compromises the enemy jungler's game plan just a little bit. He still hasn't gotten her health bar back. This is fine for me, though. This is always a discussion point in coaching, right? Hey, I'm on this Herald, the second Herald. I'm fed. Team, please don't die to obvious, oh, look, you're dying. I could rotate. Could do something about it. But also do this. I'm going to do this. So a little bit of laziness, but also at the same time, like, It's your fault as long as I'm getting strong, denying experience, denying gold, and I can kill everyone afterwards with the fizz when he arrives. That's great. Like, you don't have to always rotate to those situations. And this is the thing about being 1v9, right? That was a very nice W into the Q sideways to avoid the karma poke. So that's little things like that are very important, right? That wasn't a pun on the right angle of with how he used the abilities. Although maybe no one was thinking about that. I was thinking about that though, because he threw the W and then Q'd 90 degrees. So I wasn't thinking about that. The right angle. But yay, there you go. Funny nerd math teacher pun. There you go. So now we go down to the bottom side, even though physics, but hey, we do math. So we went to the bottom side here, we hold this turret, Fizz shows up, we're like, okay, I guess you can have that. Move back to the Krugs. Elise is 313, but she's got 99 CS, and she's down 2 levels, which is exactly damn well where she should be. I hate it. I hate it when people spam gank, like Nunus, with 0 skill, and they get levels for it. Like, it's okay to get levels for it when you fuse it with camp sequencing to a degree. Like, I'm not saying that you... Was it me or was that Prowler's cool activation and unholy far away? I like it when those things kind of happen, when like interactions happen like that. That was funny. But hey, again, Prowler's cool showcasing its ability, especially for Ezreal's with Arcane Shift and Flash and all those good things and heal. And, you know, allowing us to actually decimate his corpse in a non-creepy way. Jax jumps into the Renekton there for some peculiar reason, says, I have the Counter-Strike. Draven ults, says, I almost executed him, guys. Like, Draven, you didn't execute him. He's like, no, I'm fed. It's like, Draven, you're not fed. You're not fed, man. But all Dravens think they're always fed. So the Elise spam ganks, okay. Oh, the anti-stun plus the shield. Is it enough? No, Akali does zip lines and gets the kill. This turret is going to fall to the Herald. Nicely done. Kayn's like, oh, I guess everybody's dying, so I'm going to go do my blue side quadrant. You see the flow. Now, the Elise has done a good job at least keeping some camps going, right? Like, she's not super far behind in CS in terms of 40-50. So then we can really talk about it. But at the same time, if you're up a dragon, you know, 2 heralds, or 1 herald in this case, so Elise does have a herald each, so we'll call that even. But way more ganks, way more kills with the farming lead, 30 CS, that should count for 2 levels. Elise has done a fine job to a degree. It'd be mediocre, but shouldn't be able to just be in the lanes, get a couple kills with Night Harvester, and then suddenly be the same level as the Kayn when he's had to play like this whole game. So this is a great way to play. This is not such a great way to play. Obviously, we're talking more about the side of starving 4 CSPM, but hey, it is what it is. Very nicely done from the Shadow Assassin, and also why I love the champion, because from a learning point of view, you learn very quickly as Kayn that you need to fuse ganks with farming, because you need the form, but you also need the gold in order to actually do something because you're an assassin. And that's what we want. And now once you reach this particular point, someone's out of position, assassinate them. Someone else is out of position afterwards, assassinate them. Save your ult for the most important targets you might not be able to kill in one foul combo. Foul combo. Foul? Does it work? There we go. I'm still kind of recovering. My voice isn't as darkened as it was on Monday and Friday. And when playing it back, I couldn't believe I was able to actually make noises. So I apologize for that, but I can't just take 2 weeks off and be like, yeah, no content. YouTubers can't afford to do that because YouTube isn't great for those things. But we're getting back into it. We're getting back into it. Hopefully it won't last another 3 weeks, but I've heard that for this thing I had, the space virus, it's a possibility. So, I mean, just have to keep trying. Hopefully it's not as recognizable in video as it is in my own head when I can hear it. But this is the whole point of this champion. This is how you climb if you're Shadow Assassin players. It's a perfect example of react to the information on the map with your E that allows you to break the rules and get those ganks that other junglers cannot. And use the fact that the enemy jungler is going to be trying to play catch-up ganking because they kind of farm fast as you to farm your camps and gank a few lanes where they're not. And when you do that and you camp the same lane over and over again with your E, free. And a lot of people say, well, that bottom lane kept pushing up. So you can't have your cake and eat it as well, right? You can't put it on the shelf and let it get stale to stare at your work of creation as well as eat it. And that's the thing with low elo junglers is either the bottom lane isn't gankable or it is gankable. It's weird how the enemy jungler always finds a way to make it work and you can never make it work in the lane. Like, the lane is always pushed up and you can't do anything about it. Every single game, it's nonsense, isn't it? If it's neutral and you're Kayn, you can, it's easy, really easy. And worst case scenario, you just go around the long way and come down here, right? So now, ooh, we just got it in time. That's a dead. Do you want to see that? Of course you do. You guys are Kayn enthusiasts. You want to see all the one-shots in the montages. So let's have a look here. We have a level 13. We're about to go back to base. We have cash monies. There we go. Using the turret. Goodness gracious. And you will notice we did go for the Edge of Night, and I talk about this a lot when we talk about itemization. Adapting that lethality spike is crucial. Now, most people will greed for Ghostblade, and that's fine, right? You can definitely greed for Ghostblade, but it's really important that you understand the comp you're against. The Spell Shield will work against the Kali, it will work against the Jax, it will work against the Karma, it works mostly against the Elise Cocoon. Why have a rough time in the game when you can have an easy time in the game when you have such a big lead? Like, you have such a big lead. No one's killing you, right? You see the flash order to get the ult off there and do the nice swipe out and then Q back in. Beautifully done to kill the Akali. Nice quick mechanics. KAYN really rewards those with those quick snapping mechanical decisions. And I do like that as well. It's also very satisfying to use. So you overkill everybody. You don't need the utility from the Ghostblade, right? The only thing that can happen here is a random stun when burst damage proc kills you. So, get a spell shield, get some HP, not even a little bit of HP, like 325 on Assassin is pretty good. You know, that takes us over 2 grand. Like, we're under 2k health without it. You know, just for context. And yeah, that's the way we go. It's kind of funny that it's 107 armor though. 107 armor. What does Ezreal have at this particular point in the game? Now I want to click on Ezreal. 66. Okay. So they decide to surrender, and I think that's pretty good because there's no way they're ever winning that game. It's only a 5k gold lead, but it's all on the KAYN, and there's just nothing it can do. And that's the effect of the Shadow Assassin. That's why I love the champion for those of you who are looking just to straight up carry, because you can only put it on you. If you cannot carry with Shadow Assassin, at least diamond before you start having issues, you can only look at yourself because the 1v9 potential is always on you. I coach a lot of KAYNs one-on-one, a lot of long-term coaching KAYNs, and we do obviously our Rosts and our Shadow Assassins, and we flex all the runes, all the builds. It's really fun to kind of go through the whole loop over a course of a year with someone. That's why long-term coaching is better, but it's something that that I've seen now work in every meta for years. I've played it. My main channel, the first organic 10k video I got was me smurfing in whatever elo with Shadow Assassin. That's what I made. And that went to 10k organic. I was like, people like the champion. This is 2017, is when he just came out, so obviously. But yeah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Hope the voice was okay. A little bit of a fun game, but also some ranting against AFK farming. Some great example of how the changes have netted this KAYN a 3-level lead over the Elise justifiably. Good luck in your games, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.